Welcome back. I'm not doing anything on my own cars this week, but I got the opportunity to visit the Petersen Museum. I was in California for work. I took my only free time in LA to head here. So why? To be honest, this place is like Disneyland for me. In fact, I might get more excited here than I do at Disneyland. Robert Peterson and his wife founded the museum in 1994. Peterson had an extremely influential life in the car world. After World War II, he realized there was really no publication for hot rodding, people modifying their cars. So he started Hot Rod Magazine. Eventually, it was so successful, he had a whole publishing company. He ended up publishing Motor Trend, Rod and Custom, Four Wheel Off-Road, and a whole bunch of magazines that didn't have anything to do with cars that you've probably heard of or read. He pioneered events that we know today as car shows, and he even started SEMA. So if you want to get to know him more, I highly suggest looking him up. He's a super interesting guy, and he did a lot of good in the world, both in and out of the car world. He was posthumously inducted into the Motorsports Hall of Fame in 2013, 6 years after his death, and left the world with what I personally believe to be his magnum opus, which is this museum. In conversations with an employee, I was informed that they are at a point where they don't really buy cars. Wealthy individuals donate their precious cars when they near their own deaths because they know the cars will be taken care of and treasured by everybody who comes through. Occasionally, they have exhibits where they need cars they don't have, so they'll temporarily sublease them from owners, put them on display, and then, of course, they own the majority of the cars. I'm sure the insurance and the maintenance bills are nuts, but the museum has pretty solid financials, and it draws people from all over the world. So I heard at least 8 languages just in the entryway. I really wish that I had the time and you had the time for me to make a video telling the story of each of these cars, reading the plaques, doing research, but there just isn't enough time. I seriously could have spent days in here. The main section of the museum has several floors of precious cars. They tend to be the ones with like the most interesting stories. The entrance is something like $20. There's 4 or 5 floors, and you can spend as much time as you want wandering the place. Then you could spend an extra $25 to see a place called The Vault, which is where I am now. In my opinion, that's where the serious cars are. They're the cars for people who really love cars, and honestly, even if you aren't a car person, I highly recommend The Vault. It's full of some really incredible cars that are going to entertain anybody. For example, this is the first Ferrari ever made. Ever. Not the first model, it's the first one. It's here on contract from its owner for a Ferrari exhibit, and it's worth about 160 million euros estimated. I mean, where else do you get to see something like this? You don't just see it driving down the road. It's incredible. I'm enjoying my time a lot already, and then I see this lavender Buick Skylark, and I had a little thought. This is what I love about cars. There are a lot of people who think a car is just for getting from A to B, and I think it's a shame. Yeah, a car is a tool, and yes, they move you, but a car has a personality. You could develop a love for the machine that feels so familiar, you can almost confuse it for a friend. And on top of that, they're fascinating. There's so much beyond what we see. It can be easy to just fill it with gas, change the oil, and not think a whole ton about it. But there's a maze of sensors, mechanical parts, suspension, controls, and linkages that give each car a unique and specific feel. And learning them deeper gives you so much feel for what's under the paint. I mean, a car really is art. I'm sure I sound like a crazy person, but I love cars. And I hope that you drive something you love. Obviously, it's not going to be this nice unless I have some random super wealthy viewers. I mean, my cars are junk. I drive a Corolla and a Honda Fit from the early 2000s, but I'm willing to take the time, look at them as something to be enjoyed, get to know them, and not just use them to get to and from work, but enjoy getting to and from work in them. I don't think there's anything wrong with seeing it as just a machine that's practical, but there's something inspiring about them, and I think it's okay to love them, and I do. So anyway, if you are in LA and you have any free time, or even if you don't, heck, make free time, you need to get down to the Peterson and check this out. It was an incredible experience. Not trying to be weird, a couple spots almost drove me to tears. Just, I don't know, it sounds weird, but it was a cool experience. You don't get to see this much time, effort, ingenuity, engineering, thought, and love in one place. The paint alone on these is just incredible. So, like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments if you want to see the full unedited 35 minutes of footage. I wouldn't speak in it. I'd just mute it, play some music, and kind of do an unguided tour through the museum. If you want to see that, let me know. I'd be happy to put it up. Otherwise, yeah, have a great week. I'll see you again Wednesday. Like and subscribe, again. I don't know which ones are which, but I know that these cars have belonged to a variety of presidents. Oh yeah, dude, that might actually be the Pope's car. Oh, this is Martin Luther King's. That's not Martin Luther King. Oh my gosh, I feel so bad. That was a Bentley, yeah.